Can you answer this one? Does God still, is God stopping? This is like theodicy. This is the biggest question. Does God, because evil and God, how do you reconcile those two? Does God stop evil? Does he see it coming down the pike and he's like, no, that's not happening? Or does he say, well, I know that's going to happen. I'm not going to stop it, but I'm going to spin it so it turns good in the end? What's Swedenborg's answer?
Yeah, I believe that his answer would be both. God, and then you've got to explain why does he do one time and the other another time. But God stops a tremendous amount of evil.
Okay.
I mean, people know, if you're raising a small child, they get in less trouble than they should just by
a good metaphor.
Random molecular movement.
You stop so much. There are so many times when these cute little people want to unwittingly throw themselves off things or pick things up that they and you stop it so many times from happening.
Yeah, that's right.
Touché.
That's right. So there's a lot that he stops, but also to continue the parenting metaphor.
Which is not just a metaphor, but a correspondence.
That's true.
Swedenborg says that this is like a actual physical manifestation echoing the reality of how God relates to us.
That's right. And so if you have a child, I mean, you can't just sort of strap them in a high chair for 16 hours a day or something like that. They need to have autonomy. They need to be able to do things. So you need to give them something else exciting to look at if you want to steer them away from this. It's within the free will of the child kind of thing. And so there's a passage in New Jerusalem where Swedenborg gets into this, where he says that just because of his goal, the way that God's goals work, there are certain things that he cannot prevent and still achieve those goals.
Yep.
A certain amount just will have to get past that, but he gets rid of so much. I couldn't put a percentage on it, but I imagine it's like 99% of the stuff that could happen doesn't happen, but there's a 1% that still gets through, and then he does only allow that when he can bring good out of it.
That's right. And I think that the criteria, as I see it with Swedenborg, is sort of in that question there, that he lets evil happen when in the end it will be better that it has happened. That good. That's the only way that it makes sense, is if the only things that are allowed to happen to get through the door and become part of reality, it's got to be that even if it causes pain in the short term, in the end, actually, eternal life is better off for it. That somehow whatever's happening to you in your life, all this heartbreaking, frustrating, confusing, boring, annoying, all the above that happen to us, it's only allowed to happen because somehow in the end you can look back and if you understood the consequences of how that shaped you as a person spiritually, that actually no, I would, sitting from my position here, whatever, down the line in eternal life, I'm glad that this happened. And
I was just reading in Apocalypse Explained a passage that was really kind of blowing my mind, that was talking about, it used the word complicated. It was talking about God is doing things that are so much more complicated than we can imagine. Yeah. We sort of think, oh, well, why didn't you just stop this, or why didn't you do that? That was painful to me, or whatever. And
I think that so much. When I bump my head on something, I do like it's tough having these, because I'm like, okay, there's no providence. Like that does
nothing
not,
good is going to come out
that
of
you could have pulled that, man. Like hey man, I'm out here doing these shows trying to hype you up for everyone, and then you're going to do that to me? How would you do that to me?
It gave me the sense of like, three-dimensional chess is like tic-tac-toe compared to what God is doing.
Oh, man.
He's working a long, he's thinking about the stuff 100,000 years from now.
Yep.
What's going, so he's playing a very complex game out of an unbelievable degree of love that we cannot see most of the time. Yeah. And there are reasons why we can't see it.
That's well said. And I want to finish by saying that it's not like, what makes it more frustrating is imagining that God is hovering over your life and everything that's not a person related, like if I do, like I'm trying to explain something, but I knock over this tea and it burns me, that's just God pulling a lever. But actually, Swedenborg talked about seeing evil, like that was the sphere of hell that caused even accidents. Yeah. That it's not just like it's God, like, okay, do this, that they're just like, I understand, okay, a person does something evil to me. I get, okay, that they had free will. It's this multi-layered thing too. It's not just like right behind the screen, God is there causing things.
Right.
There's all, for some reason, picturing it like that diffuses my frustration, because understanding, all right, it's an imperfect world, we're going to get around this. I don't know if that makes sense, but to me that changes the feel of it.
Yeah.
All right, so that's obviously
good question.
Great question, and there's much more that can be said, and hopefully we've given you guys a kernel of an idea that you can take out into your own mind, into your own life.